Good morning, everybody, and welcome. My name is Eric Reed. I am your host, and today is Fun Friend Friday. I am so glad to have you joining me and stepping into the room. Whether you're watching this live or in rebroadcast, replay, recatch up, whatever you want to call it, it is still a fantastic and fun Friend Friday. Good morning, Gail. I think I see Daniel. Daniel, congratulations. Much success, my friend. Muhammad, how are you this morning? I am glad everybody is piling in early. Yeah, I think we went off just a minute or two early because I wanted to make sure you guys had time to hit the share, hit the like, hit the go somewhere button with it. So good morning, Dr. Holly Kelly. Good morning, Carl. We are on your side of the world this morning for Fun Friend Friday. You guys know her. I know her. I love her. Her name is Bisi. She is my sister from Nigeria, and been thinking a lot on what we're going to talk about, and I think it's going to be impactful to women. Good morning, Dr. O. It is the other half of your fabulous, fantastic, dynamic duo stepping into the spotlight today as a Fun Friend Friday. My friend Bisi. She is over in hair and makeup. As you can tell, I am in the studio, that car today. We came up to the mountain. The kids don't have school today or for the next couple days, and so I thought, let's go to the mountain, but we got to do Fun Friend Friday. And yes, we have a Fun Friend Friday shirt. It's a lime on the pocket, so from here down is supposed to look like a beer. So yes, we have a Fun Friend Friday shirt. Take a moment, do me a favor, share this out, invite a friend, settle in, get ready. I know Bisi is on her way into the room for a Fun Friend Friday. All of the past Fun Friend Fridays, and there's 2 or 3 I've got to go find or redo, are up on the YouTube channel. So if you're like, man, I missed a Fun Friend Friday, or these Fun Friend Fridays are so fun, I got to go find them. I know, look at all those F's I can do. You can go over and find them on Fun Friend Friday at YouTube, so just Google that. Good morning, Rosie. And so I think I just saw BC step in. Anyhow, she'll be here in just a minute. I know Dr. O's got a direct hotline to her, so she'll probably message her and say, girl, get on the Facebook. I don't know why when Jamaican, when BC, no, tell BC, no, we cannot test it real quickly because we are live. Actually, I can do that over here as well. So anyhow, one of the funny things, BC had been so nervous that she asked me to test drive it 2 or 3 times. And so let me just tell her we are live. Come on in the room. Whoop. Dr. O, you could probably do it faster than me. There we go. Anyhow. Now, dude, you are in Asheville. I'm over here in Appalachia, Big Stone Gap, Virginia, lower Southwest Virginia. Really interesting area. Cars are great studios. They really are, Joe. As Joe is a sound engineer and knows all of this, they really are great because they're built to buffer out the outside noise. So why wouldn't they buffer the inside noise and keep it from echoing and doing all those things? I think my friend will be jumping in just a minute. Anyhow, little background on BC while we wait to get her in the room. If you know her, she shows up as a woman of elegance, class, style, perfection. She got the hair, she got the look, she got the clothes. She doesn't go anywhere without knowing what she's going to look like when she walks in a room. And so she has been a nervous wreck about Fun Friend Friday and what to wear and how to do her hair and all of those things. And the other day we were doing a pre-chat, so to speak. And I caught her when she was in her pajamas. And I told her, I said, I'm going to take a photo of you here in this live little thing that we're doing to explain your internet and your systems, just so people could see you. But I see she has stepped into the room. I want you guys, I am going to go ahead. Thank you, Dr. O. I'm going to go ahead and invite her into the room. Why I do that, I need you guys to hit the share, the like, the thumbs up, the talk to your friends, call your neighbors, here she comes, here she goes kind of thing button. All right, BC, I'm coming at you. You're going to have to come back in and go out again. You bumped a little, and I'm not sure if your cell phone is in the right position. So log out, log back in, and then I'll know. One of the ways you can tell if somebody's going to be able to be invited is based on the position of their picture. It'll have the little camera. So BC, log out, then log back in. Restart, move closer to your internet. It was fine yesterday. So one of the things that this brings up an interesting point, as we do in live TV, BC is in Nigeria. Now, I know a lot of us probably haven't traveled to Nigeria or that area. Internet service, internet quality, the things that we often take for advantage here in the US, having 4G, 5G, super hi-fi, Wi-Fi, always ready and always available, are not a guaranteed in some places. It's about to pop on the screen and I'm about to just go crazy. She should be accepting. I know she knows how to do this part because we practiced. So hit the accept button. You're coming, BC. You're coming. Just hit the accept. Just hit the accept. I love when people. We're both in our studios. But
Awesome.
yours look. But see, so I'm just gonna set y'all up. Notice that I'm in the front seat of the car. BC automatically goes to the back seat of the car.
Absolutely. That's the best.
Because that is the kind of woman you are. So
Yeah.
I have some I'm bubbling. I even have theme music just for you. Are you ready for some music to help you calm down, relax, and get settled in?
Please, please. Ah, you don't think, have you seen my beautiful baby?
My beautiful baby.
Yeah, tomato baby.
I can lip it. I don't know what it means.
Just listen to the sound. The music is good enough. Adama, poko, eke, ada,
See,
ada.
so the great thing is I found this song and I thought it was perfect. It's Have You Seen My Beautiful Baby, My Beautiful Tomato, and et cetera, et cetera. And so we were listening to it in the car for a couple hours, and the kids got pretty good at doing the da 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 da, and they were getting really good at pretending to know what they were saying. And I thought, that's great. You know, now we're all like hooked on our little Nigerian song. But let me turn it down. There we go.
It's one of the best for me. I love that song.
Well, see, that's because you're in my heart and you're my beautiful baby. And I wanted to make sure that you felt relaxed and comfortable and at home here on Fun Friend Friday with us. So thank you, many thank yous for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
So you and I got to meet at John Maxwell certification, and I immediately fell in love with your energy, your positivity, your grace. The thing that I really love about you is you've learned temperament, that ability to think it but not say it, or to think it but say it with grace and dignity.
Oh, thank you so much. And I remember that time when we met. I'm not sure if it's the same time we had the hair problem, but
we're not allowed to talk about that.
we're not going to talk about the hair. We're just going to talk about how we met, and we had a good time meeting, and that was fun.
That was it. I am still so embarrassed about that, but that is it. I'm going to actually ask Roddy if I can do that as my 3 minutes at IMC some year. So I want to dive in because there's so much going on and so much going on in your world and what you do and who you are. And so actually about 2 days ago, a book came out by the former ambassador of Nigeria saying, titled Everything You Need to Know About Nigeria. And I didn't read it all, but I got to go through a quick skim. And what I thought it was interesting is he referred to Nigeria as the troubled giant.
Why did he say that? I haven't read the book.
Well, he said because Nigeria has so much potential, but because of government history, government corruption, and things that occur within the government structure, that all of Nigeria's greatest talent, wealth, often has to leave Nigeria to be successful.
He's absolutely right in some regard. And I like the fact that he said we are the troubled giants. Indeed, we are the giants of Africa. We have potential, we have talent, we have it in their number. And truth is, Nigeria is just like any other country. I've been to some places around the world as well. I don't even want to talk about what's going on in the US right now. Every country has its every country has its own peculiarities. It's almost the same everywhere, even corruption. However, because we know that everything rises and falls on leadership, that's one area we need to focus on in Nigeria, particularly. And we will get there. We're getting it right. It's going to take baby steps. I mean, I had a post on Independence Day, which was October 1, and I was like, growth is not automatic. It doesn't always come with age. We celebrated 58 years post independence, and I'm like, we should be in a much better place. But we realize our awareness is raised. We realize the fact that we are not where we're supposed to be, and we are working towards that. I can assure you, slowly but surely, the progress is coming, and it will come. I
So
believe
when
in
you're in
it.
a country like Nigeria that is now 58 years, 60 years post-independence, you're now starting to touch the first generation that's grown up in independence. And some of those are actually now, becoming women of influence, becoming women in the community that have only known a state of independence. How is their perspective different than those who grew up in the state pre-independence? And how do you speak to both group of women regarding leadership?
Very interesting question. It's like two generations, two separate generations with two different sets of challenges, of benefits, of all kinds of stuff. What we need to learn to understand is that those generations are unique in their own ways. We just need to be able to marry the stuff, the good stuff from the previous generation and what's going on now, and try and get people to understand the benefits of both generations. This generation is a microwave generation, technology generation. They don't, the process is too long for them. So we just need to keep letting them know that growth is a process. We must follow the process because the process works. But if we have the mindset of I want it now, it may not happen now, so they get frustrated. They are a technology generation. I almost got a heart attack just trying to get on Facebook Live now, and the internet went berserk. So I ran from upstairs into my car. But we got to do what we got to do. Make it work.
So is, as a woman of the independence generation or the free generation, how are you received by the women who are like, oh, no, 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 baby, you don't remember, you don't know what it was like, this isn't going to last, it's just a short thing, we've seen it before, government will come in and tomorrow it will be gone?
Again, I see it like a cycle. When I was younger, I used to look at my father and wonder. He used to say things like, in those days. And I'm like, which days? Now I'm telling the same thing to my children, in those days. And they're wondering which days. They will find out. They may not understand fully, but it comes in cycles. So trying to explain how it was then, they probably won't understand the full impact. What we need to do is try and influence positively the best ways we can.
So when I was in Paraguay, what was interesting, because they have a high government corruption, their complaint was always, there's no point in trying because you don't understand our government. You don't understand our system. The hospital down the street has been built for 23 years and we're still being taxed. How do you, as a leader and an influencer and an empowerer of youth, get beyond that excuse, get beyond that mindset of, but it's not, I can't do anything because the wall is too big?
So in my own stance, what I say is we all need to work on our mindset. If we have a mindset of I can't, then we can't. We must have a mindset of I can. Is it going to be tough? Yes. And it is tough because everything worthwhile is uphill. Government is government anywhere in the world. They have the same bureaucracies, the same challenges, the same. Are we going to hit roadblocks? Yeah. Are we hitting them? Yeah. Are we going to stop? I won't. So it's for all of us to determine that we will not stop until we get the change that we want. One person.
Now,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, I think it's interesting the way you spoke that sentence. It was, we are going to hit roadblocks. We are going to hit challenges. We are going to but you said, but I won't stop. As it, and what you saw there was a leader's vocabulary, a leader's mindset is, we're going to all hit these things together. But what you'll see is, as a leader, I'm going to keep going through it.
Absolutely.
That
Because
the wall may be a mile long, but I will knock at least enough bricks for us to go through one by one by one.
absolutely. If all of us have that mindset of I will not stop, I can do this, we will get there one by one. It may take longer, but we will get there. However, if we say we can't, then we can't, and nothing is going to change. Truth is, change is not something anybody likes, especially if it's something that you have to change from what they've been doing all the while. Who are you to come and change something? Those are the roadblocks you're going to meet. However, transformation starts with me. If I can change me and people can notice the change in me, then bit by bit they may want to be like me. So let's change the world one person at a time. One person at a time.
So I love this. Good morning, everybody that's joining us for Fun Friend Friday. Make sure you're sharing this out. This is my dear friend Bisi from Nigeria. And we're talking really about empowering a nation through one person. And that would be Miss Bisi as our empower of the nation. And mainly youth and women in focus. I love the idea that you said the transformation begins with me. And those of us that were in Paraguay, that was their motto. When you wake up each morning, and I know you are a deeply intentional person, what is that transformation that you say today, this is changing?
Okay, first of all, I say today I am enough. I am
Mark
enough.
that, you guys.
What happens is all of us are getting ready to get ready. And we keep getting ready to get ready, thinking we don't have what it takes. We all have what it takes to make the change. Are we willing to make the change? Is the question. Can we make the change? Yes. Are we willing? Is the question. If we do what we're supposed to do, and each person does their bit, believe me, even if it's not in my generation, we will have started a cycle of change. So it has to start. We're not going to be great to start, but we have to start to be great.
Am I enough? Am I willing? Are those your two commands? Am I enough? Am I willing? Your camera froze. Don't panic. It'll probably bounce back in a minute. There we go. You say, I'm enough. Am I willing?
I'm
And
enough.
then
I am
mhm.
willing.
It's it's interesting. The other day I heard somebody comment almost the same, and they said, um, "If not me, then who?" And I thought that's kind of a heavy burden to carry. So as we wait for a minute for it to unfreeze, one of the things that I so often see when I travel and get to visit other countries, traveler at spirit and in heart, she'll be popping back on, don't worry, is the fact that when I'm traveling and when I get to go to places like Paraguay and Nigeria and other places around the world, you see, for some reason, it's easier to see, whether it's truth or false, the passion is bigger than the individual. The passion for change isn't about the individual. The passion for change is about a culture. The passion for change is about the community. It's about a generation. It's about a sisterhood or a brotherhood or a nation or a tribe or an economic class. And so when they say that the transformation needs to occur, when they say that they need to create change in their country, when they say now is the time for things to begin, they are really seeing it as a larger we, almost in that perfect British royal we sense. And so often I think we, meaning us, the Westerners, in our mindset say, well, I'm going to change me. I'm going to do this. And we begin from a very centered place. And it's often hard to gain the momentum and the enthusiasm and the energy needed to bring along a group because we started from an I position instead of a we position. I see BC is logging back in and jumping back in and out. Dr. O, just tell her I'm watching, and there she is. As soon as I see her pop in, we could have done this on WhatsApp, and we would have been better, I'm sure. Um, those of us that have WhatsApp apps. So it is trying to add her back in. Um, so when you're looking and asking yourself, why am I stuck? Why is my dream? Why is my vision? Why is the transformation not occurring the way I want? And I apologize for all my fingers. Why is it not occurring at the level that I need it to, desire it to, and happen to? I would ask, did you start from an I position? Did you say, I want to go and change this group? I want to go and bring transformation. I want to go and make this happen. Or did you stand in the middle of the group and say, we, this group, these people, this company, this culture, this team, the social economics. Good morning, my dear. I was just explaining positional leadership that you exemplify, that you don't say, I want to transform Nigeria. I want to bring growth. I want to bring this. I want to end that. You always speak from the position of, we need to. I am just lending my talents, my resources, my gifts to the cause.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. One person is too small to achieve greatness. One person is too small, significant. So we need to all work together to make the changes we want. However, let's not wait for the big changes. Let's do the little things that matter, because it's the little things that make a big difference.
And it is through little empowerment, it was amazing, again, referencing Paraguay, when you were sitting in a room of what by most classes were the lowest economic, the lowest social economics, the lowest educated group, the workers of the workers. And you would begin to empower them with very small basic nuggets, things of workbooks where they could read and study about leadership, about empowerment, that you had brought to them the kingdom's gold.
Absolutely.
Because they knew that one resource could be recycled and reused and built upon and transformed into something bigger.
Absolutely. And look at what we did in Paraguay. It wasn't anything big, like you said. We just touched on values, honesty, integrity, forgiveness, your attitude. I believe if we could just touch on those little stuff, that will start and kickstart the big stuff.
So I'm going to make you become the teacher. The shirt is too small. It's uncomfortable. So all of us sit back and we're like, oh, I can't do it. It's too big. It's too hard. And I say all of us, and I apologize. I sometimes speak in general terms, but as a coach, or trainer, you often do. I think sometimes some of us, especially Westerners or Western-like cultures and social economic groups, feel that like, oh, it's just too difficult. And yet I see you walking into communities that some would be frightened to. I see you speaking into people that have been neglected and not empowered in the past. What keeps you in the game? What is the mindset that says, I'm not done, not yet?
What is top of mind for me is, if not me, who? If not me, who? If I'm waiting for the next person to create the change, I might wait forever. Also, what's the worst that can happen? If I have
Woo!
fear, if I have unbelief, if I have doubt, then I'm going to be crippled and paralyzed on one spot. So I try to move, and don't get me wrong, I get all those things. But what is the worst that can happen? What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? And then I switch my mind.
I
What is happening? You train your brain. I've started training my brain. The brain always goes against the grain, but I train my brain.
I love, so you guys, oh, I'm sorry. I love you. Um, if not me, then who? What's the worst that can happen? And I have to sort of mock because people that know my humor. So if you're a person of faith, or if you're of Christian faith,
Mhm.
the worst that can happen is you can end up with your divine creator. You can end up in heaven. If you walk into
Absolutely.
a room and everybody boos and shames you to the point that you have a heart attack and fall over dead right there in the room, would that not be a glorious thing that you are moving on to the next place?
Glorious thing that you are living this so-called world that has so many challenges. At least move up.
Yeah.
But while you're here, enjoy the
So
ride, baby.
so I always, and I do the same thing. I'll say, well, what is the worst thing that could happen? It's like I could drop over dead, and it's like, and that's a bad thing. Like, like I kind of think that would be a good thing. Now I get there. I've got kids and families and mortgages, but sometimes we let this bad thing of they could laugh at me
Hmm.
become so monumental, so big that it's like, and you've never been laughed at before.
Hmm.
Well, I could make a mistake and you've never made, like, how is that really the worst thing?
I know. And remember when you said let's do this, and I'm like, Eric, I do book live. And I was telling some friends this morning, I says, this is my second Facebook live in my whole wild life. Guess what? Was afraid? Was I nervous? Yes, I was. Am I doing it? Yes, I am. If I had said no to this, I would have lost that opportunity. But I'm doing it now, and I know now I can do this.
And think, and what I love about this, and this isn't about me, is that once you've done this, you're like, I could use this. And you start to
Absolutely.
think of like, now that I've broken past this, I could start teaching. I could do more interviews. I could gain more time in my life because I'm comfortable doing
Doing
this.
absolutely.
I've
That's
now
why it's called
expanded, grown my reach.
a breakthrough. You have to break through it. So Eric, thanks for letting me crash through this.
Well, I can embarrass people in public fairly easily, and Dr. O's over there. She knows what the worst thing that can happen is
As
when
long
we
as you
hang
leave
out.
my hair on my head.
I made sure mine was good and tight. Dr. O, we love you so much, and that
We
story
love you,
has
Dr. O.
added. We love Dr. O. I have all of you that know Dr. O. You'll have to ask her the story. I mentioned the story to Sonia, who is her L2 partner, and literally I could hear, when you laugh so hard you do the snort cry. She was like 1 second away
Uh-huh.
from doing that. So I love you, Dr. O, for giving me that moment to just laugh. But your Dr. O is an example of somebody's like, oh well, what's the worst that can happen? And pushes on
Exactly.
through. What we're gonna do our Fun Friend Friday here in just a minute. But what is it you want people to know about Nigeria that don't quite get off CNN, Fox News, the American or the outside of Nigeria news networks? What do you want me to be able to say, now I understand Nigeria?
Nigeria is the next best thing after heaven. I
Oh,
tell you.
you know who's
Forget
going to be
what
the
CNN.
ambassador of Nigeria next.
If I have to listen to what CNN says, I'm not going to come to the US. Nigeria is the next best thing after heaven. We have potential, we have resources. Yeah, we need help, but we have what it takes to make a great country. And I tell you, if we all do what we're supposed to do, Nigeria is going to be greater than anybody can imagine. We have everything.
What is
We
the
have
one
sunshine.
thing? You got beaches. That works for me. Um, what is the one thing that when you're out of Nigeria that you miss most?
I didn't hear
When you're away
Eric.
from
What's the
Nigeria,
one
what is
thing?
the one? When you're away from Nigeria and you travel and even come, what is the one thing you're like, man, I can't wait to get home to Nigeria. I need this.
Nigerian food. all of all of Nigerian food. Anytime I'm out of country, I'm tired of eating bread and salad. I give me my Nigerian food any day. And I miss the people. They're warm, they're friendly, they're loving. I love Nigeria.
So
Period. End of story.
so when I sit down at dinner with you and you're like, okay, I am going to Nigeria and food you to death. What is one thing I'm going to find on the table?
At the table, if you love rice, you'll see plenty of rice. If you want the native food, and Eric, when you come, you're gonna have native food, no rice. You have loads of native food, loads. We do all sorts of food, and we're very creative people. We can make chicken in 1,000 ways.
I can see it. You're that you go to the cookbook store and it's like chicken and the book is this thick, and it's
Exactly.
all chicken.
Exactly. We are creative people. That's the truth. We're loving people. We are warm. And we have the resources. The
So
structure is not right. Right now, the infrastructure is not right. But even with that, I love Nigeria.
So even funny thing is, as you described that, we are resourceful people. We can do 1,000 things with chicken. It really, and having been allowed to travel myself and be in different economic groups and different social economic groups, what I always love about being in countries that are growing and transforming is they're like, don't throw that away. It's got 3 or 4 uses. Oh no, no,
Uh-huh.
no. Those that you can still do something with that. That they understand that in transformation, in growth, that there has to be a recycling and a reusing and a redoing and a constant pulling out of the resources one more time, because when you're in that state of transformation, it's going to take everything you got, and the last thing you want to do is go out and find resources to fund your dream, to fund your
Absolutely.
mission, to fund your passion.
Absolutely. And when they say necessity is the mother of invention, it is true. Maybe because of the way we are, we find ways to do what we need and what we want. We will find
Ex-
all the ways. We are creative people. We are resilient people.
and i
There's no
want you
killing a Nigerian.
and I
No
want you
stopping
guys to
a Nigerian.
to hear this, that so often, and I see it and I do it and I fight against it, is I want to create something, do something, transform something, be a part of something. And I look outside myself. I look on the web. I look in other people's buckets. I start look for what do I need to buy, borrow, or steal from them to make it happen. And I tell you, as Bisi said, I am enough. Trust me. Everything that you need to transform your team, your company, your family, your whatever, you've already been divinely gifted the resources. You don't need to
Oh,
go out and buy another book, get another whiteboard, order another CD and study. You need to get your butts in gear and start utilizing the resources at hand and
now
then
don't
reuse
get me
them.
started, Eric. Don't get me started there because you hit the nail on the head. We are three in one, just like God. We are spirit beings created with an intellect and living in a physical body. And God, who is the grand overall designer, has fully resourced us. So the answer is always within us. Problem is, we always look outside for the answers. It is within us. If only we can be still for a bit and find what everybody is created with potential. Everybody is gifted with something. What we need to do is find that gift, discover it, like I always say, develop the gift, and then deploy it. So just be a 3D human being. Discover your gift, develop your gift, and deploy your gift. And the world will be better.
Okay, so somebody write it. Discover,
Develop,
develop,
and
deploy.
deploy. That makes you a 3D human being.
Oh, do you want to live 3D?
Yep.
Discover yourself, develop yourself, deploy
And
yourself.
leadership is a gift, like my friend Diana says. Leadership is service. Once you deploy your gift and you serve people, if you help others get what they want, they will help you get what you want.
I think, man, we could be here for another 2 days. I think I see that so often in leadership, though, is they're 2D or one-dimensional people because they never developed.
Yep.
They're deploying other people's stuff, other people's gifts, other people's statements, other people's resources. So they've only learned to deploy, or they're always stuck in discover mode. Like, well, I'm not ready to begin yet because I'm still figuring out who I am, what I want to do, where I want to go. One-dimensional person.
And isn't it amazing how all of us know what to do, but we never do?
Yes. I'm
So
and loving this. The development side. We have so many people that are always in like, oh, I'm not ready yet, not ready yet, right now. That's why you're a one-dimensional leader. Because you're stuck in one dimension of the 3 dimensions that you were divinely created to live.
That's right. And you got to fulfill purpose. If you remember that your purpose is that somebody else's purpose is tied to yours. If you don't do yours, you are affecting somebody else's destiny.
If you don't do what you were called to do, you've denied somebody else their destiny.
Absolutely.
If you don't do what you were called to do, you denied somebody their destiny. How would you like to get to the end of time, to heaven, to whatever you want to call it, and look down and see somebody sitting on the side of the road, so to speak, unable to live their fullness because you backed down from yours?
Absolutely. And that's why we do what we do, Eric. We just work with people to walk into their destinies
I
and
have to turn up the air conditioning because it's getting hot up in here.
Help them to bridge the gap between knowing and doing, what they know and what they do.
I'm you guys have got to hear this. I am so excited. I'm going to steal it and try and use it every day now. Develop, deploy, or discover, develop, deploy. And how, when I look at somebody as a leader, as whatever, I'm going to ask, are they living a 3D life? Are they working in 3D mode? Or are they only living on, as Joe would think, 4 of the 8 tracks that are available? Are they only deploying other people's stuff?
Absolutely.
And then what happens when they run out of other people's stuff? They run out and get more stuff to deploy. And then what happens in a country that is always deploying other people's stuff? They run out of their own resources because they've had to use everybody else's.
Why be a counterfeit of another person when you can be the best version of you, the original?
So I want you guys, and then we got to do fun cards because I'll be here all day. I'm calling you later, my sweet tomato. Now when you hear that song driving down the road, you're going to think of me.
I will remember you, Eric.
You'll be like, oh, wait, Eric's in the car. I want to challenge you guys to look around your offices, look in your boxes, look in the bookshelves, look in the closets, and say, okay, I bought all these resources. If I am not going to deploy them, develop them, or discover what's inside of them in the next 24, 48 hours, or 2 weeks, to be fair, I'm going to pack them up, put them in a box, set them on the curb because clearly somebody else needs these resources because I'm not utilizing them. I want
Absolutely.
you to go through the crop closet, and I'm speaking to myself because I did this recently, and
Yeah.
say, I am not buying another something. I am going to
Until.
begin to discover, develop, and deploy what's here. And I say this often to new JMTers, and I know there's a lot in the room and will be during the replay. 15 laws, you could teach 15 laws for the rest of your life and still not be finished.
That's my new baby. 15 laws is as if, where have you been all my life?
I'll do it with you. You tell me how to make it happen. I'll teach it with you because it is my
Awesome.
passion book.
Awesome. We'll do it. No worries.
Yes. But 15 laws. And so the thing is, so often I think that we choose not to live 3D is out of fear. And as
Absolutely.
VC taught us, what is the worst that can happen? Like, truthfully. And
Yeah.
if you don't make it happen, whose destiny are you impacting? And you
Mm-hmm.
may not physically see them, you may not emotionally know them, you may not be connected to them. But I truly think, and I heard this the other day, I was watching A Ripple in Time or A Wrinkle in Time, forget Wrinkle in Time with my kids. And Oprah, who plays one of the characters, she's the witch, one of the powerful beings. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to spoil it, don't worry. But she says, think of all of the amazing events and choices that had to happen for you to be here. And as my son and I talked about it, I was like, think of it, that two people had to come together, but not those two people, but their two people and their two people, and all of the people and all of the history and all of the universes and all of the choices. Our children are adopted. Had I not been at my desk that day, had I not picked up the email, had we not, like all of the choices that led to you being here today. And then she goes on to explain that, isn't that an amazing miracle?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Eric. For those of us who are afraid, which is normal, who have fear, unbelief, and doubt, which is normal and is not going away, one thing I'm learning to help me is I am chasing my mom. MOM. I'm chasing my
Okay.
mom. First M, I'm chasing mentorship. We need mentors in our lives. People who already have been where we want to go and can guide us through the journey. So you chase your mom. First M is mentorship. You chase the O, you chase opportunities. Never ever pass over opportunities repeatedly. That means don't be poor. POOR. Don't pass over opportunities repeatedly. And the last M is momentum. You need to chase momentum because discipline is going to get you going, but momentum will keep you growing. You
You
must
got
have momentum. Otherwise, you're going to stop short with fear.
And I will say, and I agree, momentum to me, I've done some crazy things in my life just because the momentum of the moment pushed me past it. And in hindsight, I'm glad I did them all. In the middle of it, I kind of wasn't sure. Um, but I will say that if you are truly in momentum, if you're too busy to think about what the worst thing that's going to happen to you is, then the worst thing that's going to happen to you isn't going to happen because you're going to be so beyond it. You're going to be like, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
And then the
Ab-
opportunities are big, little, and small, people. They don't have to be big enough to create the momentum.
And
And
they're most
mentorship,
likely
and mentorship, I know that you're living out one of Paul Martinelli's rules that you got to be in the back of the car.
uh-huh.
The front of the plane, the top of the boat, and I don't know if
Anywhere,
there's another
anywhere.
one.
Just make it happen.
Oh, the front of the room, the top of the, no, but the front of the plane too. So yes, I love the fact that you're in the back of the car and that it was natural for you to jump in there. So we are doing the Fun Friend Friday part, and I'm going to do this song while we do the envelope explanation. I just feel it's more appropriate. So, well, there we go. So we have our Fun Friend Friday envelopes, the green clover, the orange star, pink heart, blue diamond, yellow moon, and red balloon. Red balloon and rainbow. Y'all thought I was crazy, but I'm reading the back of the card and I got two stacked together. Inside each one of these cards is, this is not like my office. I'm having to make it work. Being resourceful. You should see the front seat. Inside, there's like this little built out desk. Inside are leadership words like expansion, awareness, trade-offs, influence, growth, consistency, desire. I am going to ask you, as we listen to this a little bit, to think about which one you want.
Which of the words or which of the cards?
We won't know until we open an envelope.
Okay. I wore this dress for you, Eric.
Whoops, I can't hear you. The music's too loud. I'm old. I love this song, by the way. I can go to a wedding with you and Dr. O now.
Yep, you can, for sure.
I love when you guys show up because the outfits is just colorful. So which envelope have you chosen today for your Fun Friend Friday leadership word?
Blue diamond, because that's what I can remember.
Or that's what her husband is supposed to buy her at the end of this interview. So in this envelope is your leadership word. I'm going to ask you to take a moment and teach into it from experience, from wisdom, and from talent. Priorities is your word.
Woo!
Y'all better get ready because she moved. She settled in for this teaching.
Priorities. I'm wondering where to tackle this from. But one thing I know, don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities. Don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities. We all have 24 hours in one day. We all pack different things in 24 hours. I tell my friends, I said, take an inventory of your day. You would find loads of wastes. What are the hours that everything is urgent and important? There's a problem somewhere. So you need to just pause, recreate. After you review, then you rejuvenate, then you return. But like I started with, don't prioritize your schedule. Schedule your priorities.
I love that. And it's said so simply, done so difficultly.
Yeah.
But I had a coaching client I was with the other day, and he said, no, this is important. I'm like, well, how do I know it? Well, I told you. And I was like, no, how do I know it? And he's like, because I want it. And I'm like, how do I know it? And after that, several times of asking the same question, he's like, so if I wrote it down, would that help? And I'm like, I think it would help you too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that idea that so often we like go through and we call other people and we'll say, so what time do you have available today? Or can I get in at noon? Or what about 1 o'clock? And we let them dictate our schedule.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying, my priority today is this, this, and this. So
yeah,
the only time I have available for you is this.
absolutely. If you don't if you don't plan your life, other people will plan it for you.
I don't think other people plan it. I think they're almost like those birds you see along the road next to a dead animal. They just come and they just keep picking and picking at it. and
Yeah.
carrying away parts of your time and parts of your life until there's nothing left. And then you walk through life going, but I'm like, you're the one that laid down. Like it
That's
was
what
pretty
I
clear
mean.
to me what was going to happen.
Absolutely what I mean by other people will plan it for you because they'll fill it up with what you never wanted from in the first place. Life is
No,
a
they'll fill
buffet.
it up with what they wanted for themselves, what they
For them,
needed. And it's not wrong on them. It's not
yeah,
shame on them.
they found space
No.
and
So
they moved it.
schedule
Don't,
prioritize your or schedule your priorities, not prioritize your schedule. I like
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
You, my dear, have been a phenomenal, wonderful, fun friend Friday guest. I am so glad, and just for diving in and doing it, I know that you were like so trying to back out. I got texts this morning with all kinds of like secret excuses, like, okay, we're gonna do this, but how can we make sure it's perfect? And I love the fact that you jumped into it imperfectly, perfectly.
Absolutely. I loved it. I had fun. Thank you so much, Eric, for having me.
Your husband is informing us the car's about to get moving because he's moving on. He's leaving for a meeting.
All right,
hopefully,
then.
hopefully not in the car you're in. Yeah, but
Not my
maybe
car.
you guys are going together for the day.
Hey, no, not my car. He's
I
not in my car. Thank you so much, Eric.
thank you guys so much for joining me for Fun Friend Friday. Make sure you share this out. Make sure you do me a personal favor and send a message to my sister Bisi and just thank her for her courage and her fearlessness, both on Fun Friend Friday, but what she's doing for Nigeria and empowering the youth and empowering the generation that is going to bring what Nigeria so longs and so needs is transformation, because it is no longer the giant that is in trouble. It is the giant being led by Bisi, and Bisi will tame the giant and bring it to his knees and then bring prosperity throughout Nigeria. I see it and I declare it for you, my sister.
Amen. We must wake the giant within so that we can have a giant of a nation. Thank you.
Hey, it was a smaller man somewhere back in the Bible, knocked a giant to his knees with a stone. You've got more resources than that. So this giant is falling and you're going to be taking it down.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Eric. Bless you. Thank you, everyone,
Thank
for joining. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for jumping in. You go out and have a fantastic Friday. I will see you tomorrow or Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Till then, be blessed and live your life with success. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Be positive.
You've got lots of great comments to go back and read later, by the way.
Okay, we'll do right away. Thank you.
Bye-bye, sister.